So, just as we were saying, I'm going to show you how to use that splitting method. And by the way, I've learned that from Mrs. Opperman, because I used to do it this way. That's how the book does it, and I find it a bit confusing. Okay? So the idea is, you look at the three terms. The first and the second remain the same. Okay? Now we got to split that x into two terms, something x plus something x or minus x, that needs to add up to x. So for example, it could be, I don't know what, 3x minus 2x, right? 3x minus 2x is x. Or it could be half x plus half x. That's another possibility. I mean, there's infinity amount of possibilities. So which one will we do? We need to choose the two numbers that if we multiply them, will give us the product of these two numbers. In other words, it has to be minus 20. So we're looking for two numbers that if we add them, we get 1. If we multiply them, we'll get minus 20. The fact that you have a minus there means one of these has to be negative, one has to be positive, right? Can you think of two? Well, you basically got to think about factors of 20.
5 and 4, negative 5 and 4.
Negative 5 and 4. Okay? Well, if I do negative 5 times plus 4, that will give us minus 20. That's correct. But what is minus 5 plus 4 equal to?
1.
Negative 1. But it needs to be plus 1. So you
got that negative 20 by timing the 10 by the negative 2.
Yes. Yeah. Okay? That's where that minus 20. Yes. Yes. Okay? So the product here, okay? This product, I didn't make it up. It comes from the product of those two. And that's what I like about this method, because it's a bit similar to the situation where we had an equation like this. Okay? And we knew that the product of those two numbers have to be that one. Now, why suddenly we have to look at this? Because here before we just had 1. So you can say it's actually the same thing. Here we also multiplied minus 2 by 1. Now we just have a number that is not 1. So it's the same method in a way. Okay? So, all right, minus 5 plus 4 doesn't work out, but we can play with that, tweak it a little bit. You switch the minuses. 5 minus 4 will be 1. So in other words, what should I write here?
5x minus 4x.
5x minus 4x. Okay? Now we've got 4 terms here, and we're going to group them, as we learned in grade 9. Okay? Okay. So here we have, what's the common factor on here, this side? 5x. So we're going to have 2x plus 1. You happy with what I've done here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Minus, what will be the common factor here?
2.
2.
2x plus 1.
2x plus 1. That's equal to 0. So that's the first factorization. There is 2 factorization. You see, this method we did here is quicker, but it's difficult, I feel. You have to do a lot of things at the same time. Here you work one step at a time. We factorize it once. Now, if we did it right, only if we did it right, then those two will be the same. If they're not the same, then you've done something wrong. So we can factorize it again. The common factor is 2x plus 1. And now the other brackets will be?
5x minus 2.
Correct. That's equal to 0. And just as we did here, I'm just going to do it quickly this time. Okay? This solution will give you x equal minus half. This solution will give you x equal 2 fifths. 2 fifths, yeah? And we got the same answer. Okay? I'll stop here and we'll move on. Well, let's just pause. So we're officially now in grade 11. And we're still doing quadratic equation, but we're going to solve them we're going to learn 2 different ways. One today and the other one maybe next lesson. Fantastic. Thank you, Shami. Wow, who's that from?
This is over here.
Thank you very much. Okay, so the first step in all these solutions is always the same. Put everything to the left. Okay, so I've got a 3 there. Okay, let's take him down this side. Okay, now in grade 10, I would proceed and factorize. And actually, I like factorization. It really makes you understand it. But what I'm going to show you now is a formula And I know you guys usually like formulas. So it's a formula that you actually get given, I think, in the matric, and then you just like work like a robot, you know. In fact, you can even use a calculator. So it is, you're gonna like this one. Now, to use the formula, I need to, I don't know if convince you, but just show you that any quadratic equation can be written like this. I'll write it here. Let's write it in black. Okay? ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. Okay? Do you understand what I'm saying? Any quadratic equation is basically a number times x squared plus a number times x plus a free number. You happy with that? Okay, anything. You can put any number there. Now, if this is a general, alright, that's a general quadratic equation, then we have a general formula for its solutions. General formula for its solutions. Okay? Our solutions are always going to be x1, 2. This is how I write it. How does the book write it? They don't write the 1, 2. Okay? Why do I mean 1, 2? Well, that means there's two solutions generally. Okay? You don't have to write it. I'll work with the book. Okay? X equals minus b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Guys, by the end of next year, you're going to be able to sing it like that as well. You will, I think you will. Okay? So that is the general formula. Let's put it in red. The general formula for a solution of a quadratic equation. Okay? And I know it looks scary. I'm telling you it's not. Okay? I don't think you're going to remember it by the end of this year, but by the end of next year, I think most of you remember it. And anyway, it appears in the formula sheet. Okay, I'll just pause here. Right. Is it on? Yes. Okay. So this looks scary, but promise you guys, this is your friend. Okay? Let's try and use this formula to solve this. And now, I'm normally not going to do it, but because it's the first time I will do it. What are these A, B, and C? Well, for each different equation, quadratic equation, you'll have different A and B and C. What is the A here?
X.
Is 1. What is the A? A is the number in front of the x squared. Well, I don't have a number. Okay? But you know, those of you I've been always calling it the skinny one, right? Okay? So A equal 1. What is B equal to in this equation?
X squared.
No. B is the number in front of the x. Okay?
Yes,
so what number do we have in front of the x? Minus 2. Okay? These A, B, and C are what we call parameters. They are fixed for a specific equation. The x can be many things, but the parameters are fixed. So for this specific equation, A equal 1, B equal minus 2, and C equal minus 3, negative 3. C is that free number. Okay? I'll do another example after this. Okay, so what does this thing tell us? It tells us, all right, you want to know the answer? Okay, I will write normally like this. Sorry, I'm going to write x12 is equal to minus b. What is minus b equal in this case?
Minus 2.
Well, b is minus 2. So minus b is 2. 2. Okay, minus 2 is 2. Yes.
So why do you say x12?
Because I'll come back to that later. It just means that they have two solutions, but you'll see. I'll write it down later. Okay? So minus b minus 2 is 2. Can I do that, or should I write minus 2 first?
No.
You got that, right? This thing, the formula tells us take the negative of b. Well, b is minus 2. The negative 2 is 2. Plus minus. Okay, we need to sort out this thing in a minute. What does that mean? Okay? Okay? What is b squared in this case? Well, all right, let's just write it down. Minus 2 squared. Perfect. Okay? Minus 4 times. 4, just the 4 is a number. What is a? 1. What is c? Negative 3. Let's just put it like this. Divided by 2a. 2 times negative 3. Okay?
So isn't A1?
Oh, yes. You know where that. Okay. Okay? Right, let's carry on. Okay, so I've got 2, this plus minus, which I didn't explain yet. Let's sort out what's in the square root. Minus 2 squared?
4.
4. Minus 4 times minus 3, what should I write there?
12.
So plus 12, right? Because the negative times negative become positive. This obviously you understand, you can put in the calculator. Nothing stops you, except that I haven't explained what that plus minus means. We will explain in a second. Divided by 2. Okay, I got rid of that one. Okay, alright, let's carry on. 2 plus minus square root of
16.
divided by 2 equal, what is the square root of 16?
Plus or minus 4.
4. Okay, and I've got that plus minus divided by 2. Okay, now I need to explain what that plus minus. Any thoughts? What does that plus minus mean? Yes.
Don't you add and then minus again?
No.
So upper clock is meant to we're like it's to show like we're square root of an unknown variable. I don't know.
Not sure. Yes, Erin.
Is maybe going to be positive or negative?
Because how many solutions I'm expecting? 2.
Two.
So really here I'm going to stick my 1, 2. I've got 2 solutions. Okay, I've got 2 solutions. One solution is going to be plus. 2 plus 4 divided by 2, 6 divided by 2 equal 3. Ah, is that what you meant?
No.
You meant plus and then minus. But we do either one. Okay, I thought so. And then the second solution is going to be the same 4, but now 2 minus 4 divided by 2, which is minus 2, is minus 1, right? Okay?
Yes.
That's it. That's it. I'll just pause here. Okay. Right, so this is really the first question. So far, all the other questions we could always factorize. We find the solutions in the old grade 10 factorization method. It might have been more difficult. Sometimes actually it's easier. This is the first time you can try and factorize it as many hours as you can. You won't be able to. Doesn't matter how good mathematician you are. You will not be able to well, actually, no, I'm lying. If you're really, really clever, you can factorize it, but it's really, really difficult. So, question like that, you must work with a formula. Okay, and you'll see why in a second. So, yeah, I'll do it one last time. The A here is 1, right? The B is minus 3. The C is minus 2. So I'm using the formula, right? X1, 2 equal. Minus B is 3. Plus minus square root. I'm going to move fast now, okay? You guys done that. Minus 3 squared minus 4 times 1 times minus 2. Divided by 2 times 1 equal 3 plus minus 9 plus 8 divided by 2. Okay? That means 3 plus minus square root 17 divided by 2. Now here, we're a little bit stuck, and some of you showed me. What do? Square root 17 is an operating number. It's what we call an irrational number. So here you got to check out what they're asking. And you can look at the textbook. In this case, they ask you to write down in a third form. In other question, they ask you to write 2 decimal places. Can you see later on, they ask you for 2 decimal places. So if they ask a third form, well, that's a third. So square root of 17 is what we call third form. We spoke about it last year. Okay? So the 2 solution will be, the first one will be 3 plus square root 17 divided by 2. That's one solution. We call it x1. x2 is going to be 3 minus square root of 17 divided by 2. That's it. That's the answer. Okay? You can't leave it like this. I mean, theoretically, you can. Later on, you will be able to write like this. But in high school, we want to see that you understand what that means. This thing means that there are 2 solutions, so you need to separate them. Okay? That should be your answer. Okay? If they ask to write down 2 decimal places, then no problem. Just put that in the calculator. Okay? Can we just put that in the calculator quick, see what happens? I'll just pause here. Okay, so as I said, if they ask you to leave it at third form, you leave it like that. If they ask for 2 decimal places, you punch that in the calculator, right there, click the SD button, and you write your answer in 2 decimal places. Okay, I'll stop this video. I think for now we just need to practice. This is a bit of a long video, but it's a double lesson. So one of the questions that I've asked you for homework looks like this. I don't want to solve it, I want to get you started. What's the first step we're going to do here?
Times out.
Yes, you gotta, what do you call, simplify it. When you have things in brackets, it's already like factorized. But if we had 0 here, if the number here was 0, then you don't need to do it. If the number here is 0, well, it's already factorized. X is equal to 0 or x equal to minus 1 over 6. Okay? But if we have a number here, then I can't do it. I can't say this is 2 and this is no. So I need to open it. 6x squared plus x. Let's put 2 already into this side, minus 2 equals 0, and then I carry on with a formula, or I actually want you to use the formula. I know it just to this lesson, so it's practicing it, okay? But I'm not going to do that. Yes? No. Okay. Now, so that's that. I've given you 2 questions like that for the homework. But what I want you to do is C with you, okay? 2x, because that's a really important one, and we didn't discuss it. At C, they're asking you show that this equation has no solution. Ooh, hang on. Do some equations have no solutions? Actually, yes. Some equations don't have any, let's put it this way, real solution. If they use the word real, they should. Yes, no real solution. Okay? So I know, I did tell you that quadratic equation usually have 2 solutions. Sometimes they only have 1. We didn't come across that. We will come across later on. Okay? Maybe next lesson I must give you an example, even if it's not a textbook. But now I'm going to show you an equation has no solution. Let's try and do it just with the formula. Okay, so x12 equal to minus b. What should I write? Let's see, without writing, what is minus b? Negative 3. B is equal to 3. I'm skipping that stage. Can I skip that stage? Okay? Negative 3 plus minus square root of
Negative 3 squared.
negative 3 squared
4
minus, minus 4 times
2 times 2.
times 2 divided by,
So why is it negative 3?
Isn't it just 3 squared?
yes, I don't know why. Got used to all our b's were negative before. Okay? 2a, 2 times 2. Yeah? Okay, let's start putting it right. Minus 3 plus minus divided by 4. Okay, square root of. Can we do it all together? 9 minus,
4.
what is that?
20.
I think.
16, huh? Let's do it in stages. 9 minus, what is 4 times 2 times 2 is 16, isn't it? Okay? Yeah?
So
Yes.
is that 9 minus 4, 5, and then times 2 is 10, times 2 is 20.
No, hang on, you do this 9,
Alright.
and this one you do separate. Both maths, you do that one, you do that one separately, and then you minus them. Both maths, multiplication becomes negative. So minus 3 plus minus, you see what's happening. What is 9 minus 16? Okay, what is the problem? What is the square root of negative 5?
Unknowns.
So 9 minus 16.
Put it in a calculator. Did I get it wrong? It's minus 7, not minus 5. But never mind, it's still negative. Put it in the calculator. What do you get? Error. Okay? This is something that I personally mentioned at some point in grade 10. I think even, I just, with my grade 9, I did it yesterday. Okay? You cannot get a square root of a negative number. I'm not going to explain again why. I've done it in grade 9 and probably in grade 10. I'm very happy to show you after school if you want to remember why. But you cannot get a square root of a negative number. It's an imaginary number, and you don't have to learn about imaginary number unless you're doing AP Maths. Okay? But there is no real answer. So when you have a negative under the square root, that means there is no real solution. Some equations will have no real solution. When do you know? How do you know that there's no real solution? That sign, that number under the square root, will be negative. Okay, guys? Right, I'll stop here. You got your homework. I don't know, you got maybe 1 or 2 minutes. All right, cheerio. 20 minutes each.